Welcome to the Leadership Transition course. And in this module, we will continue with the topic Self-Personality Check, DiSC. Now, DiSC is also another type of personality check, which is designed also for workplace, but mostly looking at work style and improving teamwork, communication, and productivity. So DiSC stands for four main personality profile, which are called dominance, which is represented by D, influence, which is represented by I, steadiness, represented by S, and C, which can be represented or which represent consciousness or conscientiousness, as you would call it. Sorry for that. As well as compliance or cautious. And basically, it can also look at it in a quadrant form where you have the dominance, influence, conscientiousness, and steadiness. Of course, we will just take the C to be compliance for a better pronunciation purpose here. So when you look at the dominant in this aspect, this is a personality profile that applicable to people who are very direct, who are result-oriented, who are firm, strong-willed, and forceful. In other words, they make decisions quickly. They are not afraid of taking risk or going into conflict. And they like a competitive atmosphere. And they can also set their own rules if needed, And then the other one is influence, which is the I. These people are outgoing, enthusiastic, optimistic. They are highly spirited and lively. They can help in establishing connection with others quickly. They find it very easy to express their feelings, and they can form connection between people as well. And of course, they enjoy the spotlight. And then you have the compliance or cautious people who are very analytic, who are very reserved, precise, private, and systematic, which for them, they are very good at completing tasks accurately. They like to plan things a lot and carefully, and they expect a lot of themselves. And also they have this analytical mindset. And the last part is the steadiness. Those are even-tempered, accommodating, patient, humble, and tactful. In that sense, they like familiar processes or plans. They listen carefully and show understanding. They want to be supportive and they want to maintain peace. Now, when you look at these four, as someone who is already in a leadership position, you also need to be able to assess yourself. For example, Sarah, who is one of our fictional characters, needs to ask herself, where do I fall in? What type of person or personality do I have that is more pronounced? Am I dominant, influencing, or more cautious or steady? Or, am I a mix of predominantly two types or three types? But the thing here is that whether you talk about system personality or DiSC or facet 5, the ideal thing here is that they tend to tell you which one you do more predominantly. Doesn't mean that you don't have the others. It just means one comes out more than the other. And indirectly, it means that you should or can focus on building the others if you need them to succeed. Actually, a bit of balance in all is good as long as you're aware which one you're doing when. So, again, when you talk about these families and talk about the dominating and the influencing type or the cautious as well as the people, and you as a team lead or project lead or a manager or leader can look at it from a, outgoing, task, passive or reserved as well as people perspective. And then you see that dominant people are more outgoing and active and are more task based. And for the influencers, they're also outgoing like the dominant people, but they are more people-oriented instead of task. So based on what we've discussed before, when you compare a manager and a leader, you would perhaps place a manager in a more dominant role. That is because they are more task focused with their people, while a leader focuses more on the people and also needs to be outgoing. And then if you look at the cautious part, or imagine the cautious part, then these people are more passive or reserved, but are also more task oriented. For example, John, who is a PhD person, is likely to have that nature, but could also be outgoing as well. And then for people who fall into the S part, so those ones are more people focused and also reserved. So depending on what the test outcome is for you, if you're starting up your leadership role or you're already in it, that helps a lot. And also as a leader, you can use that as a way to know how to approach people when you know or can sense where they belong. For example, for someone who is dominant, the way you would approach that person would be to say, hey, here's the goal. What's your solution? I need this ready by this. Because that person is dominating, it's direct. So when you're direct with that person, when you're decisive, then he tends to respect you more as a leader. And for someone who is influencing and likes to go out and talk about people, interested about people, and then you can say, hey, let's talk about it more. I'm excited about what you're talking about. And here's a great way you can think about it. And they're more excited to get involved with people and interacting in that sense. And of course, for the S type, and you can check with them like, how do you think we should do this? Because these are steadiness people. You need to go one time with them, one at a time. Can we discuss this further? Here are some more information you need to process and come back and we can talk about this. And for the cautious people, you can say, take time to think about it. Come back and let's talk about it. Or why don't I send it to you in an email or something and you can have a look and then we can talk. They need time. They're cautious and they're careful. And this helps you a lot in managing this type of people. So take a look at the DiSC personality test. Do it and see for yourself as a leader where you fall in, but also learn how to use them with your team members and be able to know how to approach them. Thank you.